All right, everybody. Hello. Thank you for joining us for the first of many more regular ION product roadmap updates. I'm Karan Talati, CEO and co-founder of First Resonance. I'm joined by Doug.
Doug Partridge, Senior Product Manager here at First Resonance. Excited to show you guys a little bit of what we've been working on and the upcoming roadmap.
So quick overview here. We're going to actually touch on a few recent improvements that we want to highlight, we're really excited about. We're also going to talk about our investments into performance and the gains that we've seen there. Then we're going to talk about what everybody's tuned in for, which is looking ahead into our upcoming product roadmap with a few upcoming workflows that we're excited to show previews of, including procedures and I believe kitting, or maybe issues.
Yep. We'll see a bit of kitting too, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
Cool. So speaking of kitting, we want to show you what we've been working on in the new ION. There's some really great improvements to the kitting workflow here, allowing you to more granularly kit based off your ABOM, based off step level requirements that you may have set up on procedures. Additionally, understanding your inventory levels as they result to the kits being requested. How do you quickly know if you don't have the quantity of inventory that you need, and how do you quickly signal to your supply chain teams that, hey, we need to fulfill this demand? So splitting off those items and making sure that those kits are surfaced to those supply chain teams. Obviously, during the fulfillment process, we've obviously pulled in some FIFO capabilities here as well. So making sure that you are moving through your inventory, avoiding stale inventory, and really keeping your factory flow moving through your supply chain and keeping them informed. We also want to surface some workflow efficiencies that you're going to see across the platform. These are some big gains when you're talking about, again, total throughput. So how do we really improve the pace at which we can edit procedures, specifically dependencies within those procedures, and make sure that you're not blocked on upcoming steps. So more automatically sort of managing that dependency graph. We're rolling that out this month. We're also adding run IDs into inventory labels so you can track exactly what runs inventory was associated from the get-go, giving physical traceability to your parts as they move across the line that you can ensure is also tracked digitally. And finally, making sure that we can give flexibility around merging, right? We're not all always need every trace information at the same time. We might be tracking parts as a part of a lot. They might not be tracked entirely. And so we want to be able to efficiently manage that inventory by loosening some of the merging rules. This is an optionality that you can opt into depending on your workflow.
What I'm really excited about, some of those updates that Doug just shared on, is whether you are already migrated over to the new ION experience, which we are migrating many customers over to already, or still on the legacy experience, these platform-wide updates take hold for both. So that's really, really great work by the team. And I'm really excited to highlight some of the performance improvements that we've made. So, this is the unsung heroes of the platform development team, the people working under the hood to make ION scalable and more performant than ever as we onboard more customers across critical industries like aerospace, defense, energy, and more. We have many thousands of users at some of these companies now coming on board the system. So what we saw about a year ago was that we needed to get ahead when it comes to performance. And as you can see by this one graph alone, we have a lot more underlying data. We've made significant improvements of performance, and we are going to be working on these performance improvements through the end of the year as a major initiative, which we'll talk about some more in terms of what's coming up on the roadmap. So let's take a look at what's coming up ahead. So at First Resonance, we serve a variety of customers, like I mentioned, across multiple industries. We also serve multiple user types inside of any one of these factories, from supply chain to quality to production. And so for us to be very effective in delivering a great factory operating experience, we need to manage our roadmap in a very agile way. We're constantly taking in feedback and prioritizing across customer segments. So it's not always easy to give a picture-perfect, clear Gantt chart of what's coming up. So what we've done is we've taken in all of these feedback points And we've laid out a very simple approach to our product roadmap, and that's this now, next, and later. You can see them broken out in 3 columns. Now features are all features and product modules where we have firmed up requirements are in active development. Next, those are features that we've identified as prioritized features, and we are working on finalizing requirements and getting them ready for development. And then later, these are features that we've identified are going to be developments in the platform, but we have not yet gotten into the requirements development functionality, and those are coming up next. So we're going to go through with more resolution on the now side, and then move over into next and later. So some of the things that we're working on right now, I already mentioned the performance improvements. Those are improvements that we're going to be making across the entire stack on the platform through the end of the year. So expect to see updates on improved performance, very similar to the graph that we just showed, coming up in the updates through the end of the year. We're also working on improvements in a project that we call Instant Inventory History. This is an improvement to our overall ability to retrieve large historical records. Things like inventory are major drivers of this. Being able to recall all of the transactions from part moves to various other updates as parts move across runs, across purchases, into A-bombs, and then uninstalled, and then back onto A-bombs. That could be really rigorous when it comes to the load that we put on the database. We're overhauling that system to make it much better and faster to be able to retrieve those large data sets across years of inventory history. So we're really excited about that project because it sits really in line with the performance improvements that we're making on the platform across the whole. We're also working on investments like the smart issue suggestions or smart issue summary. So we're starting light with this, using the power of some AI capabilities, like I said, light sprinkling of being able to just summarize an issue, allowing people that are triaging quality issues in the manufacturing process to quickly understand what an issue is and where it is in its life cycle, so that we could close issues faster and get parts back into the manufacturing workflow.
Great. And you'll see 3 items in this now list that are directly relevant to some of the updates we've been sharing here. So as we saw the kitting preview, that is coming out in the next couple of weeks to really enable our manufacturers to leverage those new functionalities that we just talked about. Similarly, on the procedure side, the ability to quickly author procedures and have a more intuitive dependency manager to make sure next steps are always apparent to your technicians on the floor. We'll also preview that. And streamlined issue capture. How do you identify commonalities, groups of part that may need containment, and how do you properly make sure you're dispositioning segments of that grouping appropriately? We'll hop into a quick preview of that as well. We're really excited about that one.
I'm really excited to see these previews because the team has been hard at work on some of these functionality improvements that are imminent coming into the platform. So taking a look at next, we are working on a few investments, the Connected Part Library Hub. So for customers that are already using the Ion experience, the existing legacy experience with the Ion Parts Library, this is really just a better way of connecting out from a given part number into the purchases, the issues, the runs that all relate to that part number, giving faster access to just simply part A1. Where do we see it everywhere in our factory? We're also making improvements to scanning. So for those that are using barcode scanning, it's very powerful to be able to quickly kit parts, install, uninstall parts today. We're improving this functionality with a concept called sessions, being able to rapidly scan multiple parts and then even bulk undo certain part moves, making it a lot more reliable and a better user experience for people moving huge amounts of parts and installs throughout the factory. We're refining our A-bomb viewer, giving more context around the purchases that A-bomb part has been a part of, issues, red lines, etc., just giving a lot more rich information to all of those places that the A-bomb connects out to. And as you can see, a few other improvements on import reliability, auto-suggesting issue action, so that's building on the issue summarization, being able to allow for suggesting what action should be taken next based on what we've done in quality management in our factory before. And we're really excited about this one. We are bringing pedigree management into the platform as a first-class citizen. upgrading it from the way that we manage it today with the combination of custom attributes and actions into first-class management in Ion. And then later, as we look out ahead into 2026, bringing more functionality around Ion Actions, giving the logs of the runs of actions in the UI, improving our runs and work center workflow, the run condition logic, so being able to loop through runs and steps within runs, giving more resolution in the issues with found on, caused by part management, and then really excited about Ion change management. So we are taking a big unified approach at what change management looks like in the factory. So rather than having multiple approval types and different types of managing impact analysis and change across red lines or purchases or procedures,
right,
we're unifying that all into what we're calling Ion Change, and that will be coming up in early parts of 2026. So I'll hold on talking about some of the later features for future updates. Really excited to talk about what's coming up here, and for Doug to show a preview of some of the major workflows that we're delivering now.
Cool. So we talked about procedures. That's in our now column, and what we're showing here is something you're mostly familiar with, right? We still want to make the new Ion intuitive to existing users, but we want to bring in these better UX principles that allow you to move through the workflow, see those sort of connected insights in a better way. The content editor. Make sure that we've implemented a content editor that allows you to take advantage of all your keyboard shortcuts and all the things that you're used to in everyday software applications. And then building on that sort of dependency manager that we talked about before. We've improved the workflow there, but how do we improve the visuals? So behind the scenes, you'll be able to see your dependencies with more agility, be able to make change to those dependencies and understand, as Karan was saying, sort of the impact of those changes. Finally, the last thing that you're not seeing on this page, a little bit of a hint of it is like, are you making sure that you are resolving everything you need to resolve before you release your next procedure? Where in the review process are you? How many reviews have you got? How many are left to go? And have you addressed all the feedback from runs that have gathered feedback from your technicians on the floor interacting with these procedures every day? So really making sure it's apparent to the author of these procedures that yes, you can feel confident you've addressed everything, whether they be issues, feedback, to move that procedure to the next version.
I just want to quickly add a comment. Using the new procedures interface more recently, I love the flexibility and the fluidity of using the new content editor. So while it looks very familiar, just the ease of the keyboard shortcuts and the modern nature of the new content editor are really awesome. So excited to get this rolled out to our users.
100%. And that content editor is unanimous across all the pages that we're releasing in the new Ion. So issues is another page that is going to inherit the better properties of that content editor. What we're looking at right now, though, is sort of an improved workflow around issues. So I had mentioned, how do we identify a grouping of parts and then split those parts into sort of detailed tickets that allow you to resolve them more granularly. Maybe some parts need to go off to testing, some parts are going to be scrapped. How do you make sure you're doing that all from one place so you have visibility and an overview around that? This is really building off some common components that you're going to see within Ion across the platform, such as just how do you see inventory and all the related info. Where is that inventory? What POs is that inventory on? Things like this just bring traceability to the forefront and allow you to make better decisions.
Awesome. So super exciting to do this update. Like I mentioned, we're going to have many more updates to come here. I think we have a few questions that came in ahead of time, so let's actually just flip into a few Q&A points with the few minutes that we have left. Let's see.
Sounds good.
Let's take a look. What do we have? So, one question came up as we were previewing some of this roadmap with one of our customers. What does now, next, later really mean? I defined it a little bit earlier. Now is really things that are in either active development or we solidified requirements and it's just about to go into development. It's an area where we can give a lot of resolution on the expected dates after going through the requirements process as well as the scoping. Next is on cue for that, and later are further out looking projects. Of course, we have a whole backlog of exciting, interesting things that we want to do in the future. I would say that's even in like a future column to the right of the screen. But now, next, later are really what you can expect is moving these items from right to left,
right,
and getting more resolution and firmness around scope as we move right to left.
And hearing insights from you all as customers and what does matter, what does need to be pulled into that later category, what's important to you, right? It's because it's not finalized. There's ability to bubble things up. We have a pretty dedicated vision in terms of where we want to go with the platform, but at the end of the day, it's a vision that needs to serve all of our customers.
Great. Okay, we had another question. Actually, this one's related to Ion AutoPlan. Somebody is asking about, what is the state of AutoPlan development and where are we taking it? I think this one it has really exciting potential. We've been talking about it a lot more recently at First Resonance, and what we identified was AutoPlan is a very valuable part of Ion, being able to synthesize across your existing inventory, parts on order, runs that are in WIP, and giving you a reliable build schedule of what you need to get done next, identifying critical path, so on and so forth. We actually drafted an internal memo that we're just ready to get out to customers now. So if you're interested in seeing this, please reach out to your manufacturing success manager and we'll share it with you. I'll lay out the high-level vision on this. Basically what we identified, the existing AutoPlan is very much built on the principles of complex logic and algorithms relevant to Web 2.0 era. It's basically a very sophisticated rules engine of identifying your BOM, looking at each one of these areas in your inventory, your runs, etc., and then forming logic to develop a build plan. What we realized and what we have been testing is actually modern principles using a lot more of a flexible approach are significantly better. We have a lot of work to do to further validate this, and we are excited about doing that work because what we're seeing out there in the industry, specifically around the acceleration of AI, gives us a lot of promise around what we can expect in a much better way to do this, rather than just incrementally develop more and more logic into the sophisticated rules engine to develop a factory build plan, which is only scalable until a certain point. We believe that the power of AI combined with some of these classic approaches is the right way to do it. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of nuance to this, there's a lot of discovery that we have yet to do. We are confident in that path, and that First Resonance is going to be the provider of figuring out what that path looks like. So like I mentioned, this is all moving very dynamically. Reach out to your manufacturing success manager. We'd love to share this broader memo with you and to give you the direction of where AutoPlan is going in the months to come. Let's talk about this one, change management. So we've been rolling out the new Ion experience, like I mentioned, to customers over the last few weeks, really, as the new Ion experience has been being developed. I think like two parts here. One, we have a change management checklist that's provided by our manufacturing success team. That gives a pretty good framework, I would say, of rolling out the new Ion experience to your users at your company. What we found as we've been scaling the First Resonance platform and offerings in our customer base is that we can no longer rely on just incrementally rolling out improvements to the UI, etc. So when we do make these big changes, we can't just flip the switch and expect that every user that's using Ion for their daily work and expects a certain level of familiarity day over day just adopts the new UI. So for that reason, we've developed a rigorous checklist for change management. Reach out to your manufacturing success team. You can bring this checklist into your company knowledge base, whether you're using Confluence, Notion, or whatever it is that you're using, to go through identifying your key leads that are going to help affect the change management, and then create a schedule to make sure that the change gets rolled out successfully, and so that we can collaborate with you to roll this change out successfully. So companies that have embraced this kind of project management of sorts in kind of this like meta project management level have been successful at rolling out changes in Ion over the last many months and years. And so we're really excited to roll this out for the new Ion experience. So reach out to your manufacturing success manager. I think those are the questions that we had coming in. This was really fantastic. Thanks, Doug, for
that's awesome.
doing this update with me today. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I mentioned, we're really excited to get in more regular updates on the Ion roadmap, as well as improvements that we've been making to the platform. Follow us on our socials, as well as our email listservs to learn about the next update and tune in for that one as well. These are going to get better and better, I think, each time we do them. So if you have any feedback or questions, do send them our way. Looking forward to seeing you all in your factories soon.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.